His law is the law of the state, not Allah's law. Is that shirk? Allah could make it haram, but the state can make it halal. Like they made gambling halal in this country. The PNM in the 1960s, I remember I was a boy growing up, and they passed legislation in this country to make lottery halal. And then they start the national lottery in the 60s. And we had some Muslim ministers of government, and they say, we ain't voting on that. We're abstaining. My question is, if this government of which you are a part makes halal what Allah made haram by legalizing lottery, legalizing gambling, for example, is that shirk? And by continuing to be a part of that government and supporting that government and voting for that party, would you be entering into shirk? That is my question. If you differ with me tonight, stand up and say so. Challenge me if you do, if you wish. I go to Surah At-Tawbah, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the Jews and Christians. اتخذوا أحبارهم ورهبانهم أربابا من دون الله والمسيح ابن مريم وما أمروا إلا يعبد الله. They took their priests and their rabbis as lords and gods beside Allah, the Jews and the Christians. And they did the same thing with the messenger of Allah, the Messiah, the son of Mary. But they had never been ordered other than to worship Allah, the one God. La ilaha illahu. There is no God but Him. Subhanahu amma yushrikun. Glory be to Him. How far removed is He from this act of shirk of theirs, of taking their priests and rabbis as lords and God beside Allah. So a man came to the Prophet and said, O Messenger of Allah, how could Allah say such a thing? That the Christians and Jews as worship their priests and their rabbis as gods. They don't do that. No. To which the Prophet replied, and he asked, did they not make halal what Allah made haram? That is their shirk. Did they not make halal what Allah made haram? That is their shirk. And did the people not follow them into it? That is their shirk. And so I ask the question tonight on the 12th of Rabiul Awwal. If a priest or a rabbi legalizes what Allah made illegal, and that is shirk, well, if the government do the same thing, would it not be shirk? Yes. And so the whole total political system around the world today, everywhere you turn in the world today is the modern secular state, which is supreme. Everywhere you turn in the world today, it is the law of the state which is supreme. Not even in Saudi Arabia, in Makkah and Medina, is Allah's law supreme. No. Example, all the states of the world today, all, are members of the United Nations organization. With the exception of Indonesia, which left for a while and then came back. And so Indonesia is now back again. with the exception of Switzerland, which is trying to get in. Switzerland stayed out for a long time, but they're trying to get in now. So all of mankind are members of the United Nations. Well, guess what the United Nations Charter says? In Articles 25 and 26. It says that Allah is not Al-Akbar. Yes. Yes. You don't read it. The United Nations Charter says in Article 25 and 26, Allah is not Al-Akbar. Why? It says that supreme authority in the world, supreme authority in the world, in all matters pertaining to international peace and security, resides with the Security Council of the United Nations. Their law is the highest law. It can have no law higher than them. That is shirk. And so I have presented to you tonight the stark evidence, the bitter evidence, that we are living now with shirk all around us. But nobody seems to be losing any sleep over it. Nor is anyone making any effort to try to get out of the shirk by struggling to recover the khilafah, to take control of territory somewhere on the face of the earth and make Allah's law supreme in that territory. Of course, the United States will fight you, and Britain will fight you, and France will fight you, and Russia will fight you, and the whole world will fight you. They will never allow you to do it. But that should not prevent you from making the effort. At least we can say to Allah, we've made the effort. Is there a single Jamaat in this country, even one, which is making an effort to teach the people of the importance of restoring the Khilafah? What's going to happen when Imam al-Mahdi returns? Of course the Khilafah will be returning. And the modern secular state is going down in the garbage bin. And that's hardly another 50 years away from now. But in the meantime, if we just sit down and do nothing about it, we don't talk about it, we don't educate each other about it, we don't lose any sleep about it, we don't have any pain in our heart over it, that around us there is shirk, and we make no effort to get out of it, what will Allah do to such a people? The shirk is not only in the state, the shirk is not only in the government. You go and vote for PNM, or you go and vote for the UNC, it's the same shirk. The same shirk. Because when UNC was in power, they also had state lottery, national lottery. They also recognized the law of the state as the supreme law. So they were also in the shirk. So it makes no difference, PNM or UNC. Same khaki pants. But the shirk is in other areas as well. Do you know that in the Quran itself, Allah gives us the months of the year? And in the Quran itself,